Getting kids involved with spring cleaning can feel like herding cats, especially around here, but it doesn't have to. When you set clear expectations and make it fun, they'll be more likely to pitch in. And I'm all about systems and routines. And if you've been around here any length of time, you may have seen my summer chore checklist, my homework checklist. Those are really great ways to help get your kids involved. And it can also work for the spring cleaning as well. So stick around. We're going to look at how to make it all work for spring cleaning with kids.
Hey, I'm Brianne McKenzie. I'm a mom of 4 little kids, teacher of students with special needs, and a health and productivity buff. And this is the Get Shit Done podcast, where I help busy moms learn to get shit done in their lives through everyday, tangible productivity tips and tricks that'll be sure to help you get shit done. Whether you're a busy working mom inside or outside the home, I'll share my how-tos and my step-by-step strategies you need to prioritize what's important in your life and create the energy you need to follow through. Now, grab your earbuds and join me for a mom chat while you're doing the dishes, folding the laundry, or exercising with your kids. And let's get shit done together.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Get Shit Done podcast. We're talking about spring cleaning with kids without losing your mind. And I don't know about you, but spring cleaning has been kind of like softly like nudging me the last little while because it's been a lot lighter out. And whenever it's light, I always see all of the things that need to be done. So like we've come out of hibernation and it's just like there magnified for me to see. So I kind of can see it slightly like pushing me to do stuff. So it can feel a little bit daunting and overwhelming, especially if you feel like you got to do it on your own. But if you have kids, you do not have to do it on your own. And I'm going to share with you how we can kind of get them involved. And I'm really, really big on everybody helping out because everybody is capable of doing something. And we kind of teach, something just fell. We can kind of teach our kids how everybody has kind of purpose in the family, and we've all taken part in making this mess. We can all help clean it up. And we just adjust for age and stage. But anyway, I'm going to walk you through how we can use my Get Shit Done checklist kind of in a different respect and get our kids involved with helping with spring cleaning. So the first thing we're going to chat about is how to choose your top 3 priorities with kids in mind. So we want to focus on quick wins. What are things that your kids can do really quickly that makes them feel involved and like check off that list? So, you know, he might say, okay, you got to go clean your room, and then you're going to get the whining, complaining, the screaming, the yelling, whatever. But because that's really daunting. But if you said, okay, I want you to come in this area and I want you to just pick up the socks or whatever, like you find one small thing, or maybe it's if you're looking in, like for us, for example, we look at our porch and there's stuff everywhere. And I might say, I just want you to put the shoes away. And then it's actually like, you know, they're expecting this big job. And then when they hear that you just want them to do the socks, that's really, or the shoes, that's like really helpful. And you just adjust based on age and stage. So my youngest is 4 and he can do the shoes. My oldest might have to do more of like the hanging up of things on hangers because it's, you know, trickier for the little ones. So I want you to be clear with the kids. We're going to clean up the playroom. Your job is to put away your Lego, and my job is to vacuum and do whatever. When your Lego's done, let me know and we can check it off the list. We just want to keep it simple, give them bite-sized pieces to help with that. And we look at the top 3 priorities about in order to know where to start, about what needs to be done. And you adjust based on, you know, the amount of time and capacity you guys have. And if you're doing this, say like before bedtime with your kids, you know, they're going to be done, right, for the night. But it might be worth just adjusting that expectation based on how much capacity they have as well. Because it's the same for us, right? Okay, point number 2, timing is key. This kind of leads into that. Don't try to clean right before, you know, bedtime maybe. I mean, I kind of do this, but actually, I have a buffer before bedtime. So my kids like to have a little bit of a show. So I would choose to get them to help tidy up or do the chore, do the thing before the show. So that's kind of like the incentive, which I'll get to later on. But like if you're getting them ready to go to bed and they're in the bathroom brushing their teeth, you're not going to necessarily get them to help clean up the bathroom right then, because that's really going to be triggering. You're going to probably get some meltdown and pushback. And nobody has the mindset and capacity for it at that time. So you really have to look at, the timing with your kids when you're going to get them to do this. Maybe they are super hungry when they get home from school, and that might not be a great time to ask them to do something because they may be just like hangry, right? At least my husband is. So if that's any indication, you may want to avoid those kind of peak times. But maybe just after they've eaten or right before something they're looking forward to, maybe a perfect time. Number 3, you want to pair tasks to keep them engaging. So we can turn cleaning into a game, and it's like setting a timer, but this is what works for us. We often turn on an awesome song that we all love. It's like a high pump up song, and we say what we're going to do first, turn on the song, and everyone tries to get it done before the song's over. But we also do this thing where we play DJ. So if it's longer tasks, it's like each person gets to be the one who picks the song. And then they get to think during that song before, what their song's going to be, and you can't skip it. So it kind of takes your mind off the task, but also everybody gets a chance to, pitch in with their song, and we're kind of chatting about what the expectation is before that song starts. So those kind of ways to engage your kids or take their mind off of it is really great. And this might be where I would really have something at the end, kind of like for us, when we're doing an undesirable task, you have something that helps. That's what I would be thinking about as well. And that's kind of going to lead into the next point. So create a system to keep this going. So you can look back in all of my freebie stuff. There's lots of checklists and different things there. And like I mentioned in the intro, my homework system, my summer chore system, my, what else did I use it for? Homework, summer chore. Oh gosh, lots of different workshops I've done over the years. I've used this kind of underlying system to create engagement for my kids and have them take part. So when you know how to kind of get them involved, it might be helpful to have some sort of checklist or sticker or incentive afterwards to move them through it. So, around here, I like to do a kind of quick tidy before everybody heads upstairs to bed. But the deal is that they do the tidy thing that I ask them to do, and then they get the show. And that's usually motivating enough. Otherwise, you can do something where they have to do 3 things to earn so much time towards something, or they might get extra time on something they're already doing. You have to know your kids best, and you do know your kids best, and you know what works for them. And so we all have to be creative, but also it's interesting because it's not always going to be the same for every kid. So I always say fair is not the same. Fair is what everybody needs to be successful. So you have to kind of look at what that child works best with and adjust accordingly. So just because your kid's older may not mean that they have more than the younger kids, because we all know we have different, brains and different abilities and different capacity at certain times of the day. So my ADHD boy may have different looking chores or different amounts, or maybe it's smaller amounts more often throughout the day. Those are kind of ways to look at that kind of stuff. But the incentive is going to be, individualized for your kid. What really gets them moving and motivated, and you can use that to your advantage and keep it a system. So over time, maybe they earn some money, or maybe they earn extra time on that thing that they want. And then my last little tip would be to move your body. Our kids are very, I would say kinesthetic, they like to move, right? Most of our kids. So if you make it fun and you make it a race, kind of like, that microwave timer where you put the timer on, you got to get something done before the timer goes off. That can really help. So that's kind of where our music comes in. It helps us to move really fast. And if you get like high energy vibe music, that's helpful. And I don't know, sometimes this will still work. You know, I don't know if your parents did this when you were younger, but you'd be like, okay, I want you to go and tidy up those shoes in the porch, and I'm going to count to see how long it takes. 1, 2, and then they start running to do it. Like that could help too. So all of these little tips and tricks are just things I've learned over the years. I use a lot with my kids at school, with my kids at home, but all of them can help for them to be included and understand that everybody takes part in whether it's just regular day-to-day tidy or it's spring cleaning. We all have to take part because we all are part of a family. And when you're a part of a family, you're a part of a classroom, you're a part of a group, you all have a role and responsibility to play. And that's part of the whole teaching and training of our kids too. So don't be afraid to give them jobs at their age and stage. Everybody can do something. And, you know, we can pick that out. So a major takeaway that I want you to hear is that everybody is able to participate. And I have a spring cleaning bingo that really chunks up some of our tasks over the next month. And you can download it for free at the bottom of this episode. And it might give you a little bit of motivation to join us. At the end, those who are able to check off their bingo card can join me for a free month in the Moms Get Shit Done Club. Anyway, I hope some of that was helpful for you and you have a little bit of motivation to get shit done this spring.
Well, that's it for me today. I'm likely needed for some mom duties right about now. Thanks so much for joining me for a chat, and let's do it again soon. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Brianne_McKenzie123 for more tips and tricks on how to get shit done.